This is Infection, the H1Z1 podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, March 24th, 2015. Episode 10. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection. Infection is your source for the latest information on H1Z1. We bring you the latest news, changelogs, developments, strategies, and speculations each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. At Gamecast Live is my Twitter handle, and Radar Gaming, or actually InfectionPodcast.com is the website.
Wrong podcast.
You're so used to doing it. You heard him. There he is, Brian Aldridge. Hello.
Hello. Should I just throw out my podcast?
So, I don't even
saying the wrong ones the whole time.
I don't even do it anymore, so it's like I'm not promoting anything.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, if you want to find me, I guess I do say it. You go to biteoftech.com. It's got every form of contact on there, but make sure you go to infectionpodcast.com. On there we have contact form for us, or if you want to go and check out our Steam group, which is our biggest thing. We're over 110 users on our Steam group right now.
Yeah, check that right now as well.
Yeah, so we get a lot of people there, and also our TeamSpeak. If you're going to be in game, and we ran into this today with somebody, if you don't want to get shot, if you don't want to die around our base, make sure you're in our TeamSpeak, because that will make it so you have a chance to survive. It's not a 100% guarantee.
Yeah, I found that out earlier this week as well.
But if we see your name in TeamSpeak, usually that's not a shoot on sight. For the most part.
Yeah, so if we go to the website here, you can see that there's a join our TeamSpeak, and you can also see who's in the TeamSpeak server right now, so you can see what's going on, and just join that. We had a problem today where we killed somebody like 3 or 4 times because you just see these random people walking by your base, and you're like, well, I mean, if you wait too long, then you're dead. So out of caution. Yeah, you run them over with a truck.
And that's the thing is they weren't in there, but they were getting mad that we were killing them. And so there's got to be a balance of...
there's no balance. If you're not TeamSpeak, you're going to be dead. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah.
Just even if you're not talking, you don't have to talk. Just be in have your name in TeamSpeak and be in the message and say, all right, hey guys, I'm, Nick in game. Don't kill me. But you can't just assume that we're going to be like, oh, this guy must be friendly. So we'll hit you with the truck.
Fire and Mage Kane, who is in part of our clan, he in the chat says, yeah, there's always the ferment factor. So there is a 33% chance to die 100%
of the time. Yeah. Ferment actually ran that guy over like twice. I shot at him with a pistol, so that was successful.
They messaged me on Steam, and they're like, are you at the base? I'm like, yeah, I'm at the base. They said, we've been trying to get over there. I said, well, next time just come on TeamSpeak, you'll be good.
You guys shoot this.
And I asked you guys, and you're like, yeah, were you talking about this person? I'm like, yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, so Langan's saying in chat, you shoot people with hands up. Of course. I mean, how do you know? If they're not...
Well, that bug's not there anymore, so they're...
I don't know. If you're at our base and we don't know you, you're a threat, we're going to kill you.
Now, I don't know if we should say what our secret sign is. So people
I think that's the. I mean, it's the reason that we're in TeamSpeak is if we see somebody, we yell. This is just common. This is in every other game. You yell jump. Everybody jumps. If somebody doesn't jump, you kill them. It's simple as that.
Yeah, during raids when you've got 15, 20 people all running around, it can get hectic when you're downtown Pleasant Valley. So what we do is jump check. Every once in a while, when we see somebody that we're not sure, we yell jump check in TeamSpeak. Everybody jumps. If someone doesn't jump, they're dead.
Yeah, exactly, and it's your own warning. Like, if you're not paying attention and you don't jump, like, there's a 50-50. If somebody sees your name and they're like, oh, they're with us, you're fine. But if somebody doesn't, and you're far enough away where your name tag isn't showing up, you're probably dead. That's just how it works.
That's the nice thing about the more extended vision with the grouping system. Yeah. You can see someone from a little bit farther away, but it's still not far enough because
no, it's definitely not.
Let's say you look down the scope of a 308 at somebody, it doesn't give you their name tag. It doesn't give you that extended distance with a 308. So you have to really be careful because once they're in range to see the name tag, for someone with a 308, it's too late.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we end up killing people sometimes, but it is what it is. But it would be nice to see those name tags coming at a little bit of a longer distance because there's even times where we send like 3 or 4 people up to a wall or something else to just kind of walk into the police station or whatever timed. So they'll send 3 or 4 people up to the wall, and you're like, is that person with us? Or are they not? I can't see their name tag. So it can get kind of tricky. So TeamSpeak is a must, and this is for anybody that if you're trying to play with even just a group of your friends, you got to be you have to be on TeamSpeak or Skype, or you got to do something to communicate, because if you don't, you're going to end up killing each other, or somebody may think you're a zombie when you have a pistol out and a hat on and you know, shoot you in the head with an arrow because they think you're a zombie. That also happens as well.
Well, and that's what I do. Even in Battle Royale, I just can't handle playing and using the voice chat. So if I find somebody that seems somewhat normal, like I ran into a guy last week or over the weekend, and I was like, okay, this guy, I can see that in Battle Royale, we'll probably go far together. I can understand what he's saying. He speaks English, you know, things are looking up. And so for him, I just said, hey, jump into our TeamSpeak. And then we're able to get pretty far, get in the top 10 doing that, when I'm sure we wouldn't have done that if we were using the in-game chat, because people can hear you. It's a good gauge of what direction you are, how far you are away. And so for me, TeamSpeak is the way for this game. The one I don't know if you noticed over the weekend, the in-game chat was almost just unbearable. It was so poor quality, and I don't know if they're playing with settings, maybe trying to figure out what's the right settings, but it was just so bad that you couldn't even understand people sometimes. So I don't know if it's been fixed, because I didn't notice today when I heard people say things in chat.
It was all right today, I think. We didn't talk a whole lot in there. So we got some questions in chat. What server do we play on? We play on Walker Empire, and we're going to continue playing on Walker Empire. There's been some discussion on if we're going to change when the server wipe comes on, but I think we're staying on Walker Empire. It was a very high pop server for a while. Then it was a high pop. Now it's a medium pop. It kind of fluctuates with, I guess, how many people are playing the game. There's times where the server's high pop all the time. Originally, when the game first launched, we'd have to sit in queue to get into Walker Empire because there were so many people trying to log into it, and it was high pop, very high pop. So it comes and goes. There's not a whole lot. If you notice, though, there's not a lot of very high or even high pop servers in the game anymore. You're seeing that the player counts are decreasing drastically online. You may see only 3 or 4 high or even very high pop servers now, and everything else is just medium pop.
And I'm expecting that that's going to keep going as they put out these updates, as the hacker situation is bettered. I think you're going to start seeing people come back to the game, because there's some people that we played with that I haven't seen in game for a while. Now we have, in our server, we have a fairly regular crew that we have coming in play. And I think that's somewhat rare. I think for a lot of other ones, they don't have 20 people on at one time. Playing in one clan.
Well, now one thing that's interesting, Brian, is if the server populations don't go back up to what they were, let's say, a few weeks ago, they're going to have to adjust the threshold for airdrops, because I've seen on our server, we haven't been able to call in airdrops in, God, it's been probably a week, because the server's never high pop.
I think in the morning some people were in early morning, and I'm assuming that's because of the Chinese. That's the evening for the Chinese. That's probably when they're coming in and loading up the servers, and then you can do an airdrop. But most of our normal days, and this is an American server, it should be, Ferment says it's been 2 days since that happened. So that was over the weekend. I would think that once we're going to talk about how there's AU servers, the Australia servers have opened up. Mm-hmm. I was kind of hoping that the Chinese population will be moving there.
It's possible.
That's not going to help if the server populations don't come up enough to make airdrops regular, then what they're going to have to do is start merging different servers together.
Exactly.
Or maybe they're expecting that once the game is released or as things go, they're going to continue growing population to where it's not going to be an issue. If
they merged even 10 servers together, I think you would see that number kind of move a little bit.
Yeah,
for sure. That's just keep the server in the browser as the same name, and just make it like, if they merge Walker Empire and something else, it's Walker Empire / whatever the other name is, so that people don't get confused or whatever else. But if they merge even 5-10 servers, I think you would easily see those populations rise back up, because at this point right now, we can't call on airdrops. That aspect of the game, calling in these airdrops, trying to survive, scope out the land and make sure that there's nobody else trying to get your airdrop, it's not in the game anymore because there's nobody ever playing, or it's always medium pop.
I ran into a bug today that has to do with airdrops. I went to go order. I put in station cash, and I went to order 2 keys so I could get 2 of those crates out of the way. And so I went into the in game store. I picked crate keys, and it said, "Oh, you need station cash." So I said, "Okay, get the station cash, complete the order," and it gives me an airdrop. Now I have 9 airdrops
that you can't use.
Yeah, which do me no good. We're doing a wipe in a week. I didn't want an airdrop, yet the store continued my purchase after I went to PayPal, or not PayPal, after I went to the Steam store, added the funds, completed the order. It says, "Oh, you now have 1 airdrop." And I was like, I never clicked airdrop. So I'm assuming this is a bug. I filed a ticket, but I haven't heard back on it yet.
This is how it works, Brian. In their back end,
frustrating.
It's 2 of keys equals 1 of airdrop. It's simple as that. You obviously don't know the secret formula, but that's what it is. So if they assume if you want 2 keys, you want an airdrop.
In Steam, you have to add $5 at a time. Because I added $5, it assumed, oh, you wanted an airdrop. It's impossible for me to add $2.50 on Steam.
Exactly. Yeah, that's lovely. So now I wonder what who did you contact? Did you contact H1Z1 support or Steam support?
I just went through the H1Z1 support through their online one, so it made a ticket. So Nurks in chat, he's saying, for your information, people are getting banned every 2 minutes now on the server. Feels like the chat is getting spammed, which I am fine with that because eventually they're going to run out. I don't know if they're going through today's list, or maybe one guy walked in the office is now dealing with them. I'm assuming they take these names, put it in some sort of an analyzer program that they have that looks at their behavior, and then they manually review it, and then they hit ban. So maybe this is them going through and kicking out the list of a bunch of those bans today, because this is getting close to end of day time for them.
Yeah,
they probably go home in about 45 minutes.
And what he's talking about is on a lot of the servers today, on all the servers today, there's been global broadcasts that say. It's like something. It's like user.
They say it's a message.
Yeah, it's like Brian has been granted permanent death or something like that, and it's just a list of names coming through.
There was one earlier today that said "Try harder has been banned for cheating. Perhaps he should have tried harder."
I'm glad they have some humor with it.
So they put nice little silly messages.
Yeah, and I think that's more to just appease the community. We've had this question time and time again, Brian. On earlier episodes, I'll say around 5 or 6, are they actually banning people? We always have this question. What are you guys actually doing? Because I haven't seen anybody getting banned in a week, and I think this may just be hey, we're still here, even though we're not broadcasting every ban. Let's say once a week we just broadcast all the bans we do, or something, just to keep people at ease and say, okay, we're actually...
Twitter feed. I mean, a Twitter feed, even if they did this and a Twitter feed, when they need to have it to where when they ban in program, it automatically sends out a tweet, this person was banned. That way you can see, hey, look at the progress. Over the past week, we banned this many people. They keep saying, oh, we banned, I'll have to pull up, actually.
I saw like 5,000 bans or something.
Yeah, actually I have a tweet here. So this is from Schmedley, and he was talking about how they have done over 5,000 bans so far for cheating. And this is a tweet. We'll have it in our show notes, but it says, cheaters in H1Z1, the reality. And he brings up some of the things that we have brought up in the past. We're careful about who we plan. Are we perfect? No, but we're pretty close. The data has been pretty amazing. And if you don't believe me, please go to, and he tells you a website to go to. Ferment in chat has said, or Ferment in our clan has said, this place that they're going and looking at these cheaters and what they're commenting, those are usually the more obvious cheaters. These are the people that are doing no clips and aimbots and just doing everything in the cheat that's available, and they're not careful about it. So I would think that on this, they would, there are a lot of people that are maybe just using ESP. There are people that are not taking full advantage of the cheats and are being very careful about which ones they do, maybe using it for a tactical advantage, not for a full, I just want to be stupid and no clip and do all these things. That's the thing is here we are seeing 5,000 probably pretty obvious cheats. How many are out there? That's what I'd be interested to see is how many, and not that they're going to have a statistic for this, but how many cheaters are there compared to normal players?
Yeah, well, it's something to look at. I mean, 5,000. He said 5,000 bans. Is that 5,000 bans in the lifetime of the game?
Yeah, so far up to this point, it's been 5,000 bans.
Okay. That makes sense.
Of course, and another thing, Smedley said they've sold 1 million copies of the game. So percentage-wise, that's a very small percentage of people. If you take it,
selling it and concurrent players are two different things. I mean, you can sell 1 million copies of a game, but how many? I mean, you look at it right now. We've seen the populations decrease. Let's say they sold 1 million copies. How many people do you think are consistently playing H1Z1 out of those 1 million people? I'd say it's less than half. So people are so fed up with the hacker situation.
Much less than half. I have no clue how many, but that would be interesting. They have the statistics, and it's not like they're going to release that. But how many active players?
I can't imagine it's that much out of a million people.
Play at least once a week. Because that would be more, and not that everybody plays every day. I think we're kind of unique to have a group of people that play every day. You know, that's more of the hardcore people that are doing this. But how many people are at least playing once a week? That would be the more realistic. How many people maybe play on Saturdays, on the weekend, just whenever after work every once in a while? That's the true number of how many people are actually playing.
Yeah. Now here's quickly the screenshot where it's the broadcast from the system, and this one says, for example, sometimes I just have to shake my head in disgust. You've been banned from cheating, and that's what's been going on. It was probably. I saw it a while ago. It was around like, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern. I saw that broadcast, and I guess they're going on again right now. People are saying the chats are being spammed again. Does that also happen in Battle Royale, I wonder? Because it's a server wide. That's got to be pretty annoying in Battle Royale, especially when you're trying to follow how many
stuff goes by so
stuff.
fast in Battle Royale anyway, so I don't even really look. I get frustrated because in Battle Royale, things are flying by so fast. I can't scroll up to where the last person killed is to know what place I'm in so far.
That's a problem.
And so
I feel like they need to keep.
Why don't they have a little symbol up there that says you are this many people are left?
Yeah. Just a single number.
One good idea that I saw, and I didn't put it in the notes, but someone had suggested on Reddit that there be, on what's that movie?
You have to help me out, Brian.
There's a book. The one I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Where they put all the kids in.
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. It's the most basic movie in the world.
Well, you're like, that one movie where they...
I've got the book somewhere. You're trying to remember. The Hunger Games, you know how when there's the last 20, they do the cannon shot?
Yeah.
And then they say, this person has died. With the last 20 people, every time someone dies, do a cannon shot.
Knowing that how glitchy the sounds are on the game, it would crash half the server
and then it would kick everybody out.
Exactly.
The cannon shot happens and everybody's
they just play the shotgun sound, and it disconnects 8 people in the remaining 20.
So anyway, maybe not the best idea, but once they get things settled down a little bit to where sounds don't seem to kick people out.
So we like to start each. We're a little past the start of the show now, but we like to start each week with what's been going on with our clan this week. What have we been doing? What's going on? All that other stuff. Brian, this week, knowing that they announced that there's going to be a wipe next week sometime, but
within the next week. Yeah,
we didn't know that prior, but we had a feeling something was coming. We've been kind of holding off on doing things because we're just like. Anything we put into the game for the last week and a half or so, knowing there would be a hack sometime, or not a hack, a wipe sometime soon. So we've kind of mellowed out in our, our building and everything like that, and we're just doing a lot of Pleasant Valley police station raids and getting ammo and then getting stolen by hackers, that kind of stuff. Anything this week that you?
So
there you go.
After the last episode that we did, we have usually after the shows we have at least 20-something people in game that we go and do raids, and that's been a lot of fun. So we've gone through and with 20 plus people gone down and held the police station. We actually have an animated GIF. I don't know if you want to go to the bottom where it says new animated GIF of clan. You can show that. This is from our last week's raid. It was probably maybe even Thursday. I don't remember exactly what day. But during last week, we all got together and we just went down and held the police station for a while. We worked our way up to the apartments just worked our way through Pleasant Valley, and we got to the point where we were pretty much just standing in the middle of Pleasant Valley, waiting for anybody,
Yeah.
just hoping that someone would come along that we could shoot. We did a couple of base raids, so we've been messing around with raiding other people's bases to see how difficult it is and what all is involved. So we found this one base that's right in the middle of Pleasant Valley, and these guys one of them I'm pretty sure is a hacker.
One of them is a hacker. We're not pretty sure. The guy's a hacker. I mean, he speed hacks around all the time.
One of them, but I don't know if everybody that's inside of the base is actually hacker. But we go in, and so we go into this one, and actually, I think we were at the other one closer to our base first. And so we kill this girl, and she accuses us of being hackers.
Of course.
Because we're inside of her base. She can't figure out why we're in there. But for us, we just jump from a building inside the base, and voila, we're there. And so they left one door, and I don't know, did we talk about this last week? This part? Maybe, I don't remember.
I don't think so.
It's hard to remember from week to week, like what we did this week versus last week.
Yeah.
But so they had one door that they didn't put, or one room that they didn't put a door on. So we threw our own door on there and locked it. And so when they got there, they weren't able to get into that room. So what they ended up doing is destroying that whole building structure, but the door was still there. And then they put one behind it. So we're running around in their base, and one guy, like just messing around, running around, fell through the floor and lands in his room in their base. And he's like, dude, there's hundreds of ammo.
No. He didn't fall through the floor. He glitched through the wall when somebody was like walking next to him.
Somehow he ends up going through the door or through something, not intending to, but he ends up in this room. And so he looks through the crates in there, and he's like, dude, there's hundreds of ammo in here. And so we're like, okay, we discovered that IEDs are pointless.
Yes, we can talk about that. The IEDs don't do anything compared to biofuel.
So we went and got biofuel, probably maybe 15 plus, 20 plus biofuel. You place it up against the door or the building that you're wanting to destroy, and then we were just shooting them with arrows. And you notice there is a noticeable change as you hit that. I mean, the percentage of the health of whatever you're blowing up does go down quite a bit. And so we blow open this door, we go take all the ammo, and then we leave. And we go to this other base, and this is people we've been messing with, but we get inside of there. Someone opens the door when we're inside of their base, and it's this exact same person that we killed in the other base. So they open the door and then instantly close it again. Of course, once again, they accuse us of being hackers. And that seems like those couple days and we've had it where 12 people chase down one guy, and then he says, you're a bunch of hackers, because we got 12 people running at you and shooting at you and you die. I mean, you can't really exactly be surprised that happened.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, it's just what you call, you get killed and you're a hacker. I'm a hacker. Everybody's a hacker when we get killed. And I mean, I guess we could this is normally in our server, the hackers normally roll in a large group. So for us, we're kind of just thrown into that group as well, even though we're not. I mean, nobody in our group, to our knowledge, is using any hacks. Now there may be people that are. It's not obvious because we wouldn't play with them, and we wouldn't allow them to play with us if they were hacking. So but like you said, Brian, we roll around in groups of 12 plus up to 20 people. 20 people shooting at one guy in the middle of Pleasant Valley. Of course, somebody's going to call hackers or whatever else. It's just the way it works.
That's the thing is with us, the hackers. We've been getting a reputation even with the hackers, because usually they can go up to a group of 5 people and shoot them and game over. But when you go with a group of 15 plus people, you may be able to get 5 of us. But with the rest of the 10 plus people, they're going to shoot you. We'll take all your ammo. We'll wait for our guys to come back or take their loot, and then we'll go load it. Take it back to our base or use it and do whatever we're going to do. And so most hackers are having to leave us alone when we're running around in big groups, because they know that there's not a very good chance that they're actually going to survive the encounter. Yeah, which is kind of nice.
Exactly, because and then we talked about this a few weeks ago. That power in numbers. It's so And now we're actually really experiencing this power in numbers because one hacker is not going to kill 15 people, and if he does, then we should just stop playing the game because one person should not be able to kill 15 people unless he's got God mode on, which actually we haven't come across, which is nice. All of the hackers that we have come across, you can actually kill, even if they're speed hacking or something like that, ESP teleporting. You can actually kill them. They don't have God mode, which is nice. So 1 in 15. I like our odds almost every time.
Well, and that's the thing is also any of you that are listening, and this is what I've been saying every week. If you're listening, driving your car, when you get home, join our Steam group because a lot of people say I don't have anybody to play with on my server or all my friends quit playing. We have a lot of people that play pretty much around the clock now. I mean, there may be in the middle of the night that some people aren't on. But anytime during the day, in the evenings especially, American time, U.S. time, East Coast, 7 o'clock usually, about the time of the show. If you go onto our TeamSpeak, there will be people there. If you want to join our server, we'll play with you. If we're going to have to come up with a code of conduct and all that as the clan gets bigger so that people don't drive each other crazy. But for the most part, everybody gets along. We're more than willing to say, hey, come on, join our group, and we'll go do a Pleasant Valley run or go farm cars. Like today, we picked up 3 cars this afternoon right before the show.
Yeah. Should we now, Brian? Should we show our garage video? Do you think?
Yeah, you could actually show that. So you kind of showed it with your clip of the messages for people getting banned, but we do go ahead and pull that up so that people can see it.
So we've got this video here, and I'm actually going to play the audio through because the audio makes this kind of makes this a little better. And so we'll watch this video, and then we'll be right back. There you go. So that was that's our garage.
So that's our garage. And for the people that are listening, we have this garage that you go off a cliff and you land in. And so we have different shots of different angles of this car flying into our garage. And of course, at the very end, it didn't go so well. It shows one of our cars just blowing up.
Which we weren't expecting. This originally, I just had the idea, the server wipe's coming. So my idea was, all right, we've got this garage. Let's promote this. I threw it up on Reddit, and I was like, all right, let's just get a video of our garage, and I'm gonna pull up a higher quality picture right now.
And this is for men driving, which there's an inside joke in the clan with that.
Yeah. So there's the actual garage. So God, all of those shots were individual. So he drove the car. We blew up 2 trucks in the process of making this video, and it was like 6 shots. 6 total angles that we had, and then the last one it blows up. But the garage, I think, is one of the main reasons that we're going to try to go after a similar location for once the server wipe happens.
I mean, we are in a prime location right now.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it sets us up nice. We still have the Rancho Taquito base. I don't know how long it's been since we've been there, but what I imagine we'll do on the next
disappear eventually.
Yeah, what I imagine we'll do on our next on the next wipe is we'll make our Pleasant Valley base, and we'll probably make a base somewhere else too. There's got to be another location. Maybe it's Cranberry. Maybe it's in the southern part of the map. Maybe there's got to be some other location that we can make a secondary base too and play around with that. But Pleasant Valley is definitely prime real estate for getting
at least right now with how the map is currently. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that happened earlier is we had 5 cars in that garage, and one of our clan members opened the door wrong, I guess.
Opened the door wrong? You press E. That's all. Or you press E on the gate. That's all you do.
But the thing is, the gate, I think, hit a car,
and
it caused all five cars to blow up.
You gotta love it. And at this point, I think anybody else would agree. When we get cars, when we initially got cars, this is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we would get them and we'd be like, yeah, we got a car. We're just going to hold on to this at our base. And within like 8 hours, car was gone. So at this point, we don't even bother with the car. We get the cars and we blow them up as quick as we get them, because if you hold on to them, the hackers come and they either blow them up or take them. So if you
so
find
we
a
pretty
car,
much go joyriding for a little bit and not
Yeah.
expect to keep it very long. I mean, our garage isn't necessarily to hold them long term, just to hold them long enough for us to run around in our base and then get back out to the car.
yeah, exactly. Because at this point, the hacker situation is so out of control that
Now, speaking of cars, have
Yeah.
you tried the first person driving?
I did in that video. I was sitting first person passenger. It's hard.
Yeah.
There is not a large. I like driving in third person. I mean, you can see if people are behind you. You can see if people are on the sides.
Yeah.
You have like total tunnel vision when you're driving in first person. For some people I don't understand how people play in first person. There could be somebody behind you in first person. You won't even see them.
What would be kind of fun is if they could have it to where you kind of lean out the window, and shoot a handgun or something. In
Yeah,
first person mode.
like Grand Theft Auto, where you just kind of like smash the window and put your gun out there and shoot people.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. That'd give you a reason to do first person mode in a car. Right now, there's not, unless you just want the realistic feeling of driving. Are they forcing first person mode on first person only servers for driving now? That's one thing I don't know.
They must. I
I
mean,
don't
I
know
would
if that's
imagine.
because before they weren't. There wasn't a way to do the first person driving. So the first person mode servers were doing third person cars.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if that's something that they updated.
Maybe they still give you the option. Honestly, something I never even.
I don't
even thought
play
about
on a
it.
first person only server, but that's what I'm kind of curious of. Is that actually happening? Later, we could always jump onto a first person server and try to find a car and try it. But
Yeah. So actually, what I just did here, Brian, I just did this on the fly. I just created a straw poll. I'm going to throw this in the chat right now. I want to know what people are playing in it. Are you playing in first person or third person? This link will be in the show notes. I play exclusively in third person. There are maybe a few times when I play in first person, but it is not very often. I don't know about you, Brian. I don't like the whole first person aspect. I feel like I have way too much tunnel vision. I can't see to my sides. I can't see behind me. I just feel like somebody could sneak right up behind me and I wouldn't even know unless they're making noise.
so Kramit says that first person servers aren't forcing first person driving yet.
Okay.
But they said that will be happening later.
Okay. That's interesting.
So I'm assuming it's just because maybe after a wipe, or maybe there's some rule set that they're going to change, that they could change right now, but they're just waiting to do one big update and maybe put that as part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're worried about still being bugs in first person, because you don't want to force a whole server to use first person driving, have some bug that's in first person driving that then that whole server has to deal with. So there may be a reason that they're not doing that.
Yeah. Now, Brian, I think the biggest story of the week, we can talk about it. We can talk about paying for Battle Royale. This news kind of broke. What day was this? This was like Wednesday of last week or Thursday. This was like right after our last show.
Yeah.
Smedley put out I think it was Smedley put out a post about paying for Battle Royale.
That was on the 19th.
So that was, when was that? That was, yeah. That was
on
last
Thursday.
Yeah. Now they talked about this in the past. He put something on Twitter a few weeks ago. What would be the fair price for a season pass? A lot of negative reports. People did not want people didn't want anything to do with the season pass, which I guess that's just how they wanted it. And now they came out and they posted a thing. Was it $6.99 or $7.99 for their season pass?
It was $6.99. Anybody want to check the stream? It seems like there's freeze frame on Twitch.
It may just be Twitch. I'm still streaming here, so.
Cool. Yeah, so it's $6.99. So they're doing a monthly pass for BR, and they said it's coming in the next few days. And of course, there was just a huge backlash for the developers and for Schmedley on this. And so they came out and said this was 4 days ago. I'm trying to think of what day that was. So on the 20th, so that was the next day, Schmedley put a Reddit post out that said, we listened to your feedback. It came through loud and clear. From our perspective, we've been really super clear about our plans from even day one regarding this. What's clear also, though, is that we expect more from us in terms of quality levels, so that we're getting So that's what we're going to do. We'll focus on bugs, awesome new stuff, and adding a ton of features to be our main game to make you feel like you're more than happy to pay for it. Only then will we charge for it.
And that was my problem. I don't like paying subscriptions for games. That's just not me. But if the value is there, only if the value is there, I will pay. I'm not against I'm not against supporting companies. Please don't take it that way. I am 100% for supporting H1Z1 and supporting any game company that I believe I'm getting my value worth.
Yeah.
There is under no circumstance that I can see Battle Royale being worth $7 a month. I don't care what the rewards are. I don't care about anything else. Battle Royale itself will never, to me, I think a large majority of the people who play this game will never be worth $7 a month. It's not even worth $5 a month for me.
Hey, do you want to try restarting the stream? Because I don't think people can get in.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try that.
Jump check. For instance, jump check.
Yeah, there's a jump check. The value's not there. I don't know if it's there for you. Battle Royale itself, it's not there for me. It's just never going to be. I don't get the value out of the game. Maybe you're different. I just don't see it.
Well, and that's the thing is, for me, Battle Royale is something I just do occasionally. It's not something that I do on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not necessarily wanting to pay $7 for something that I do maybe 3-4 times a week.
Exactly. And that's what it comes down to. How often do you play?
If they add in those other benefits, that's where it's going to be something that's willing to go and pay for. But as they said, until we create something that you feel is worth that value, we're not going to charge for it.
And, I mean, what is that threshold, Brian, for you?
I think the magical number for me is probably $5 to be the top if they come up with enough.
Yeah, exactly.
$5 would be the top, and if they're not going to do more than that, why not do 3 months for $15 or sorry, 6 months for like $15-$20?
Yeah, exactly.
Break it up to where you're getting a 6-month discount. That's what I would rather do, and then I'll keep it going because I'm not going to want to pay month to month for something that I'm possibly not going to use more than 5 to 10 times.
Well, I
find myself playing Battle Royale more.
Yeah. Now, this is what I saw. So the thing that they have, the way Battle Royale is supposed to work when they launch the game, the official game, is you pay an event ticket to play in a Battle Royale. Of course, the biggest problem with that is you pay an event ticket and you get in the game and you die within 30 seconds of you spawning in, you're pissed, right? I just wasted an event ticket. I think an event ticket came out to something like 75 cents. 75 cents a pop to play Battle Royale. It's great if you go far. If you don't, you're going to be kind of upset with that. But a post I saw interesting on Reddit was, why not make the event tickets timed? So you click like claim or whatever on an event ticket, and it says, okay, here's 2 hours. For the next 2 hours, you can play Battle Royale, right? And that includes in-game time. So if you're in-game time for 45 minutes, that's against your 2 hours. But for 2 hours, you can join Battle Royale games. And once that 2 hours is up, you can use your other event ticket. But I've got a huge problem putting down an event ticket, not knowing if I'm going to be alive 45 seconds from when I click, play. That's a huge problem. There's got to be something to do to address that because, I mean, it happens all the time. If I play 5 games, there's a very good chance that at least one of those games I'm dead within the first 5 minutes, easily.
Well, and that's the thing is, if they're going to do a per ticket system, other than doing this monthly pass, which gives you unlimited for that month, doing some sort of as you said, 2 hours, 3 hour game time for a ticket, maybe even if it's 1 hour per ticket. I don't know for them what the value of that hour is. I'm sure they have it all marked out. 1 hour is worth this much. Even if they did 1 hour per event ticket, someone who's maybe not that good would be able to go and get a decent number of games in if they're dying quickly in that 1 hour. Someone who is very good, who lasts out playing maybe 1 to 2 games in that full hour, they're going to be getting an event ticket back anyways from getting a high placement.
Exactly. So it kind
Most
of
likely.
It evens out. That's my whole thing.
So you can have it for somebody who says, I'm going to play and try as hard as I can within this hour to be able to at least gain back that event ticket that I spent plus whatever I can get.
Exactly. That's where they need to figure out where that threat. I mean, like you said, Brian, at what point does the cost equal out? What is an event ticket worth to Daybreak Game Company? What is it worth to them? It is not worth 75 cents. You may be in for 3 minutes. It is not worth that. And if they think that that's a legitimate deal, they're out of their minds.
People are going to get mad, especially with the hacking situation not being dealt with. When you go into BR, people can see you from across the map with ESP and things like that and know exactly where you're at. You're just more likely to get hunt down. You're more likely to get someone that's using whatever type of a hack to their advantage to overcome you. And then people were discussing last week when we were talking about BR, how it's frustrating that we go and queue for BR at the same time. And I totally understand that, because I was playing in a game a few nights ago, and it's me versus, I think there's 7 people left in the BR. Well, I'm facing a group of 3 people. There's 3 people that I can see. So that's 4 of us out of the 7. There's only 3 other people in the map somewhere. I can see those guys all running together. For me, it's a very small chance that I'm going to be able to kill all 3 of them. So I waited till one of them kind of wandered away a little bit, and I sniped him, backed into the bushes again, and waited. I almost killed another one, but still. And I saw that someone was saying they announced that there's going to be group BR, and I couldn't find the post on it. But I think that is a really good idea to make it to where people feel like they're getting their value. Maybe have more advanced rewards or some sort of a better reward, maybe a clan reward or something. That's how they could fit that in when you queue into BR as a group.
Yeah,
because that would separate out those people to where it's more the one-on-one people playing in one, and then if you're going to have a group of 5 people plus, you're in another one, so that you don't feel like you're outnumbered and have that frustration.
Exactly, and I think I'd be more likely to play with a group of 5 people than I would be to play by myself. I mean, you have better luck. But then again, I'm saying that when I'm saying I'm playing in a group of 5 people versus 1 person. How is that game? How is that aspect of the game going to change when it's 5v5? You're not going to have a group of 5 people rolling up on one single person. Everybody's going to be grouped together. So it's really going to be interesting to see how that group game mode works out. Because current Battle Royale, if you're grouped up, if Brian and I and 2 other people are grouped up, we're most likely not killing another group. We're killing one other person. And
I'm not saying to have people queue right next to each other. Not the landing of the parachute doesn't even have to be next to each other, but have it maybe to where they're automatically in a squad already. Some sort of way. Maybe that's where they can come up with a friend system or something to be able to do it, because they'll have to come out with a friend system before they do this.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're gonna have to work on an external clan system that goes across like your player account, or those clan tags, or your station account, or whatever they call it. They're gonna have to build that clan system as well, and that kind of stuff.
One thing that we've been using this week is the /squad space auto group, and that actually went to a disadvantage for us.
Yes. Very much so.
Do you want to talk about that? Because I think you were one of the people right in front there.
Yeah. So I don't know who brought this up, but previously Brian would be the one that would invite everybody. So you do /squad space invite, Nick, and squad space invite.
Which is a tough thing to do when you have over 20 people.
Exactly. It's time consuming, but Brian was the one that always did it. He had all the names kind of figured out, so he would do that. And somebody came up in our group and said, hey, there's this thing called squad auto group. So you do /squad auto group, and it groups you with people around you. Great when you're at your base with a group of 20 people and you get all squatted up. Not great when you go to somebody else's base and they join your group and start killing you, and you don't shoot at them because they have a green name.
Yeah.
So the simple solution to this I see is the squad leader can do /squad
requests.
Can do /squad auto group on, and it lets everybody join, right? And then everybody around them can do the auto group.
Or
and then
even if it pops up a list of here's people that want to join your squad, you can accept each one if you're the squad leader.
And that goes into that GUI system, yeah.
Yeah, they've got to come up with some sort of a GUI to manage this.
Because it's really complicated. And we got totally screwed by that person joining our squad because you don't shoot at people with green names. And of course, you see the name, and you see a green name, you don't even think twice. You see a green name, you just go on to the next person. Is the next person have a blue name? No, the person with the green name is shooting you because they're an enemy that auto-grouped. So that was our biggest problem this week with the auto-grouping stuff.
But for the most part,
Yeah.
it works.
It works
That was the
well.
first time I saw someone else use it to try to cause an advantage
And
for
it worked.
them.
And it worked very well
Yeah.
for them. They killed probably 3 or 4 people just with that.
So, okay, someone brought up in chat, and this is something that we saw on Reddit, where there was this person who they were saying it was their first time playing, and they came across at the radio tower a satellite phone in game, and they said something about with the message on it, Operation Sandbox. And I did see a message from Phasefire saying that, and he didn't reference this directly, but he said he rolls his eyes at when someone brings up an object that doesn't actually exist in game, and people talk about it as if it's a legitimate thing. So I that was kind of my hint that this is not a real object, and someone was just making up a story about a satellite phone. I wouldn't think. I mean, this could be maybe they're keeping it tight-lipped, or maybe it was a developer object, because this could be something that's used with the developers in doing something with their base. Not that they would need this object, but it might be something that the developers use that maybe one of them dropped or was messing around with, and it went into a chest or something. But according to Phasefire, it sounds like the object isn't in the game files, so it wouldn't be in the game. And so you can actually go and look at all the objects that are in game. If you go to Reddit, they have an item list. And if this object existed in the whole H1Z1 universe, you should see it in this list.
Yeah.
And they do scans of these files. That's how he goes and finds, from the weekly updates that they put out, he goes and finds new objects, and you can look at pictures, see what these different things are. So personally, I'm skeptic about the satellite phone. I really am not sure that it actually exists. And from him saying that, someone who goes through and is constantly looking for new items, I would tend to believe him that this isn't a real object, and maybe this person is making something up.
Yeah. So let's move on to patch notes. We had the 19th patch notes, which was last Thursday, and this was one of their. It wasn't a huge patch in the stuff they did, but it was important stuff that needed to be addressed. So the biggest thing in this patch, I think, is with the vehicles, you can now start and stop the motor by pressing K. That's a huge thing, because previously to stop the motor, you would pull spark plugs, get out of the car, get back in the car.
Which can be a big problem when there's people around you.
Exactly. You don't want to be getting out of your car. So you can roll up in a forest or something, or in a tree line, press K and kill that motor, instead of hopping out of the car, pulling the spark plugs, hopping out of the car, hopping back in the car, which is nice. The other thing, the characters are now animated in first person, so now you can see their animations and their emotes and which way they're looking, their orientation.
While in a vehicle.
Yep. Also, and the other thing they fixed, which is nice, if you now remove a part from the vehicle, like if you remove the spark plugs while you're in the car, it will stop the motor. Previously, if you remove the spark plugs, you'd have to get out for the motor to stop.
Which didn't make a lot of sense.
No, because you pulled the spark plugs. And then the last thing for vehicles was your camera state should now be preserved when entering or exiting a vehicle. This was a huge problem for me, because I always play in third person.
Yeah.
And when you would get in a car and get out, it would put you back in first person mode, which is a pain if you're going directly into a firefight and you're not used to playing in first person. Another big thing with building is you can now no longer place foundations on cement. So after this server wipe next week, we should see, entire cities not being polluted with bases, which is going to be nice. You won't see.
I'm sure people
pollution.
will go around and see where they can place them, but right now they're placing them on top of buildings and parking lots. It'll be interesting to see where they're not being placed any longer. I mean, can you still place it on a building? Is it considered cement because maybe underneath of the building is cement?
Probably.
I'm thinking that it's going to cut a lot of that. Just you running through town and there's just bases everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean that's like a big thing, because it like totally pollutes the game. You're just driving down the street and there's just bases. You get into big cities and it's just bases everywhere, which is really a big problem.
This tool that they did to be able to remove objects can't remove the foundations yet, which is very frustrating. So if you look around our base, around the water, I think we have 5 foundations down there right now, and you can't remove, just from messing around with the garages, you can't actually remove those. So those are stuck until the wipe happens, and I don't know why they haven't changed that destruction hammer to just be able to destroy foundations, because that would make it so we could clean out things and get rid of, not that people are going to go always clean up after themselves, but it would allow someone to clean up after themselves if they decide they didn't want to have a base somewhere anymore.
Yeah, which is something that we would have needed come like last week, which we didn't have access to.
Yeah. And so that's one thing I am kind of excited to see, and that this is probably what is prompting this upcoming wipe, is a lot of this type of change. It sounds like that they're still, from what I heard, trying to figure out some sort of a graphical something that's not quite right yet. I'm sure because of this change alone, they'd be doing a wipe. But I think that there's one or two extra things they're trying to get into the patch so that they don't have to do a wipe right away again. So it's one of those game-changing things that's going to make things happen differently with how people are either placing bases or something, to where they want to be able to get this done, do whatever patch is next, and then do this wipe, and then see where people are glitching and trying to put the bases after that.
Yeah. So now we have a few more crafting and building things in this the 19th patch. So you can now move while placing items, which is nice. In Battle Royale, this is kind of handy because when you're placing the flare, when you're getting it out of your inventory, you can actually run around while you do that. If people want to do that. This is actually nice. When you're placing an object, it will have no collision. So the transparent object that shows up when you're placing something will have no collision.
So it's not going to blow up trucks.
Exactly. If you sweep, this was a huge problem. People would have vehicles parked, and people would just pull out a deck foundation and just sweep across the vehicles, and it would just blow them up. Even though you weren't placing the object, it was like the object was in the game. And then once the object is placed, it will have collision again. This is a really nice key thing here. When you're placing an object, when it can't be placed, it'll be red. When it can be placed, it'll be green. And also the size scales a little bit with that. And all of the objects now that you place will require four corners to be on the ground. So in the foundations, it'll require those 4 pegs to be on the ground. In shelters and
won't
other
have
stuff
any more
like that.
floating bases.
Exactly. You won't have bases, where you have to jump on the stairs to get up there. That will be gone. And then the last thing is for crafting and building, the placing the object will now follow your screen, not your mouse, which it was kind of a problem when you were going to place different objects. And then they also added the recurve bow, which
they actually announced in our last week podcast, which is cool.
Yeah, they put it in our chat before I believe it was anywhere else that they were going to be announcing that. They said it was going to be rare. Turned out to not be the case. The bow is polluted all over the game. You go to the church in Pleasant Valley, it's in the graveyard, it's on the benches outside the church, it's in the church. The bow is everywhere. It's really good, though. Yeah. It makes the bow like a legitimate threat now.
Yeah,
because you can easily you can rapid fire with that bow. It's much more accurate. You can easily get a headshot with that bow and kill somebody with a gun if they're not paying attention.
And it's made the desire for the thread go down quite a bit. So the spool of twine, because that was something that people are constantly looking for, spool of twine to get the better bow. This has made it so where that's not really even a thing. I mean, we come across a lot of nice backpacks. So we don't necessarily look for twine even to make those backpacks, because we have quite a few backpacks. But with this, it takes away that need for the twine as well. And it's a really nice, that's the thing, it is a really nice bow. And I think right now they're overpopulating it because they want people to use it. If they made it rare, they wouldn't be really going to be able to see if there's any bugs with it, if people are using it. I think they're trying to make it so that it's out as much as possible, so people first of all get used to using it, but also that they will find any possible bugs that exist in it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's it's nice because it's like you said, Brian, it's all over the place, and that was one of the questions we had last week. Big thing, weapons are now appearing on player models, so now you no longer have to deal with is this person a fresh spawn? Are they armed, and are we just not seeing their backpacks and their hats? This is really nice. It lets you know what you're going after now. But the other thing is, since there's such a I don't know, not a lot of ammo in the game, you may pick up your guns. You may pick up guns you find to look like a threat, but you may not have any ammo. There's been so many times where I'm a fresh spawn and I find a 308 and a pistol, and then I have my recurve bow. I'm walking around with the recurve bow, and I've got a 308 on my back and a pistol holstered.
Ammo, yeah.
Somebody may stray away from me thinking, all right, well, this guy's packing. I don't want to mess with this guy. Turns out I don't have any ammo, but this could be an advantage or disadvantage because now hackers are going to go after you because they can see all of your objects that you have. So this is an advantage and disadvantage, but I think for the most part, I'm not sure if you would agree with this, Brian, but I think it's a really good addition to the game, and it's a huge advantage, at least for us. We can see if we're killing a fresh spawn, or is this somebody that's all kitted up, and are they?
One thing that I found that was pretty interesting is if you get 3 handguns, it puts one on each hip and then one on your leg. If you take 3 bows, it will stack all 3 of them on top of each other. And then the one thing that they tried to do to where you'd actually sling it over your shoulders for the rifles, it didn't seem to work very well for that. So what they ended up doing is just having it go underneath your backpack, which doesn't always look correct with the different frame backpacks. I'm sure that's going to be, it's not 100% realistic, but it does get the job done. You can see what people have, and they're not having the issues with how things were laying on the backs, when they were trying to do the sling over each shoulder type of thing.
Mm-hmm. So we got a few more things in here. They fixed this. This was a huge problem. The leaf and berry sound effect. You could hear somebody picking berries like a mile away.
No, this is still a bug. This created the problem.
Okay, so this is the 19th wipe. So this did create the problem.
This is them adding it. So the bug, because I heard it today.
Okay, because I didn't hear it. That's
interesting. I think the bug is limited to when you are holding a weapon, because someone said the bug is when you have a gun and you go, like a handgun, and you pick berries, it makes this noise really far away. I think if you go without having a weapon out, that it doesn't make the noise, is what I seem to have seen in the bug report.
Interesting. Okay. That's good to know.
But they created a little animation. So when you pick a berry, like berries come flying in your face and sticks, which I don't know why. It wasn't exactly necessary. But then this awful noise happens. So you can see somebody or hear somebody from who knows how long. Ferment says 300-meter warning. When people come anywhere near you, you're going to hear this really loud noise. And so I hear that noise and I look around and I never see anybody in the bushes. So it's got to be a pretty long distance.
Yeah. A few other things they worked on here was the dot reticle has returned to third person, which I don't like. I don't like the dot. And I play exclusively in third person, so I'm kind of screwed by this. But that is what it is. Now in first person, this is kind of cool. The reticles change per gun. In first person, the shotgun is a circle. The 308 is a crosshair, I believe. I'm not sure what the pistol is because I don't play too much in first person. But when you're in first person and you're switching through your guns, you will see the reticle change. It does not do that in third person yet. It appears that it will because it says yet. So we're assuming that that's going to be fixed in the future. The dot will also be used for melee weapons and gun iron sights. And then
which I actually like for the iron sights because it was very difficult to see. I mean, they had so much reticle in an iron sight, which already had a limited view, that they were covering it up. So I think for the iron sights, that makes sense because you're more using the sights on the gun to line it up, the visual sights that they put in front of you rather than this dot.
And another thing is they fixed a bug where the pistol was like delayed. It will now be ready to fire or reload immediately after switching. Sometimes you would switch to the pistol and it just wouldn't let you fire right away. It was some delayed reaction of you pulling it out. So that's they fixed the issue with the decay time on dew collectors. We haven't even.
It was 10 hours.
Yeah,
it was 10 hours before that, and so there was no point in creating a dew collector because when you went to bed, most likely when you woke up, it would be gone.
Yeah, and we don't even use the dew collectors anymore. We just go and get water.
We're near the water, so for us, it's not a big.
And those dew collectors are a pain because they don't fill up multiple bottles at the same time. They only fill up one or two max.
And that's the thing is when the dew collectors only fill one bottle at a time. You know, when a full dew collector fills one bottle, it's not really worth. For us, we do 100 bottles at a time. We'll have 100 empty bottles of water, and we'll split them up between everybody, run down to the water, fill them up, and then come back and purify them all. So for us, filling it with a dew collector would take all day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you literally have to have somebody sit there, and as a dirty water gets filled, pull it out. The next one to get filled, it would just be a huge time consumer. Landmines and IEDs. they fixed that, so the explosion areas only appear with the IEDs and the landmines. That was a problem there. The corn and wheat, now they say they have a proper system. They weren't working today. Somebody was trying to plant them and they weren't doing anything. So I don't know how well that system is actually working. And corn can no longer be placed on the ground to dry out and turn into seeds. The only way to get those is by harvesting the corn, and you'll get seeds from that. And now they actually, each player, every time you spawn, you get a hand-drawn map.
Yeah, this was another big thing.
It's a big thing, but how useful is it in survival? It doesn't give you your location.
See, but I don't need my location necessarily when I'm looking at that map. It's more of, so I don't have to keep a website of generally where things are. So when I'm running around, okay, I need to turn right at the street. I like using that in-game map, not necessarily the hand-drawn map. One benefit of the hand-drawn map is it does seem to have some hints towards future things. I really wish they would have taken the hand-drawn map, not released everything at once, and made it so that as you discover things, you fill in the map. Like it's you creating this hand-drawn map. That would have made a lot more sense for the lore and for the exploring of the map, rather than giving you this map that's already filled out. Mm-hmm. I would assume that maybe they're wanting to do that in the future, but I don't know if this is their intention, that you just have this pre-done map that's totally filled out and this is what it is. They have this map and they have a high-quality map, which is the same as what you see in Battle Royale. So you can find around different high-quality version maps, which says a map of Pleasant Valley, even though it's not just Pleasant Valley. Mm-hmm. So I think that if they would have just taken the hand-drawn map, say, okay, here's where you're at right now, that's filled in, start running around, and you'll see, okay, here's Cranberry, here's Pleasant Valley, here's the radio tower. And that would have given people a reason to run around and discover things. And for me, I think they lost a big opportunity doing that.
They still have time to. I mean, for us, the amount of time we spend on the game, I know the map. Pretty much, I know everything in the map. You ask me where something is, I'll be like, all right, yeah, DeSoto, south.
Well, and we know by location, if you type /LOC, when we're doing respawns to try to get one closer to our base, we know without even looking on the map generally when we're getting close.
Exactly. So this is more for new players. This is for people that don't know
and that's
the
where
map.
if they would have taken that opportunity to make them discover it, that would be that much more involvement and immersion for that new player.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is something really interesting, Brian. I don't know what this means, but currently all of the patches are done at like 2 or 3 a.m. Pacific time. That's how they've done it since like the second week we've done this podcast. So like 8 weeks ago, this is how they've been doing it. This was interesting. The update they did on the 23rd, which was yesterday, it went offline at 2 p.m. Pacific for 2 hours. I'm not sure why they did a midday update. The 3 a.m. and 2 a.m. patches have been working fine. I mean, a majority of the people are playing in either Europe or the United States, and 2 or 3 a.m. Pacific, not a huge peak hours. But 2 p.m. Pacific, like, that's 5 o'clock. That's 5 to 7 Eastern. That's like prime play time.
Prime playing time.
So I'm not sure what the reason behind this was, but it was mostly, for the most part, it was a Battle Royale update. And they've rolled out their new mystery bags, their mystery bags version 2. And this is how the rewards now work. If you come in first place in a Battle Royale, you'll get 1 unique red Battle Royale shirt, 1 elite bag, 1 mystery bag, the version 2, so it's got the new rewards in it, an airdrop ticket, and an event ticket. If you come in second place, you'll get an elite bag, a new mystery bag, and an airdrop ticket. Third place is an elite bag and a new mystery bag. And 4th through 10th is just one of the new mystery bags. And these are the new rewards. The mystery bags V2, there's a lot of new rewards in there. There's a post on Reddit, we'll have it in the show notes, that show all the different things that you could possibly get in the new... I think we actually did that last week, maybe. All the new stuff that's in the new mystery bags.
Well, there's some screenshots so you can actually see, and they do have rare items that, who knows, when you open up a bag or a crate, there's a chance that you're going to get a rare item on a crate. And so I'm kind of interested to see, and we haven't seen it on Reddit yet, what those items are. I haven't seen people that actually have won what they consider a rare item. So it'll be interesting to see what those are, whether it's pant skins or something that we just haven't even seen yet posted.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Now, this is something really, really weird. I haven't seen it yet. I know there's people in our groups that have, but they've made it so that you now earn crates by playing randomly.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten one yet.
Neither have I, but I know a bunch of our group members have. So there's 2 new crates. One you get from playing, like on a server, playing the actual H1Z1 survival mode. You get a crate randomly from getting that. It's not a set amount. It's not like after 15 hours of playtime you get it. It's just randomly. You'll get one if you play. And then the other one is a crate from playing Battle Royale, and it's the exact same thing. It's just it's totally random.
Yeah.
This is kind of a cool concept. You still have to buy the keys to unlock them, but it's nice that you can now, if people don't want to play Battle Royale, they still have the opportunity to earn a crate and maybe get something good out of it. There's still that opportunity to unlock something, or the only reason I think they did this is so that people will buy more keys, because now there'll be, more crates will be thrown at you. You don't you only get a crate,
which this is generally what they need to do. I mean, this is how they should be making their money, is with these skins and crates. So this is, for me, is good. Maybe put less focus on the BR, put more focus on, okay, you've won BR, you want a crate, you want to open that item. This is what they do with with TF2.
Yeah, Team Fortress.
Yeah, this is the same thing that they do with this. You earn this crate or this box or whatever. You can buy something to be able to open it. Someone said in chat that yesterday they won a leather satchel.
Very nice.
And so, yeah, I don't know if that's the best thing, a different looking satchel, but so you can skin your satchel.
Very nice. There you go.
Nice.
Now, go ahead.
So I don't know if you want me to cover some of these additional fixes.
Sure.
They improve procedural spawners to make zombies more populous around higher traffic areas, which is a very good idea. You want it to where when you go into town, you feel like there's a lot of zombies there. They don't need to be spawning so many zombies out in the middle of the forest, or where people aren't actually populating.
I jumped on yesterday right after the server wipe, or after, sorry, not after the server wipe, after this update, and I spawned at Bubba's truck stop. There were, my rough estimate was probably 75 zombies, all aggroed on me. I was standing on top of a deck foundation, and they couldn't get on there. But there were 75 zombies at Bubba's truck stop. Somebody came to pick me up in a car, and I was like, hey, I got some zombies on. I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll just run them over. And this huge, and it wasn't a horde. It wasn't a group of zombies. It was just me spawning at Bubba's truck stop. The servers had just had come back up, and I was the only thing there for them to all aggro to. So that was crazy. There were so many zombies at Bubba's truck stop. But like Brian said, you don't need zombies spawning in the middle of Vishan's Peak. Like, that's not... Yeah. Like, you don't need zombies up there. Or on Spence Hills. Like, there's no reason for there to be zombies spawning up there.
Now, one thing that they did say is they announced these zombie hordes, and there's 3 per server. I personally haven't run across one of them, but that's almost something we could go hunting for. Just trying to find. What they really should do is make it so that maybe a zombie horde will drop a bag or something, or drop something that's unique, something that you actually have a reason to go search for. Give people a reason to go hunting zombie hordes, and make it so that the second a zombie horde dies, it instantly responds somewhere else, so that they have them out there. But I think that'd be kind of a fun little side game of, hey, let's go hunt a zombie horde, make them extra difficult so that people will get some sort of reward out of going and taking them down. Kind of like a crate system. It's similar to the crates.
But I see a huge problem here with the zombie horde, Brian. If you have a vehicle, you could easily take out that zombie horde in like one pass. They've got to do something to defend against vehicles.
That's what I'm saying, is make them stronger. Make it something to where if you are alone or there's 2 of you, you would never touch a zombie horde. Make it so that maybe it'll blow up the vehicle if you run into all the zombies
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, if you run into them all at the same time, it destroys your vehicle. Something like that.
I would actually be okay with that, because at that point you could just farm items, because you pick up truck, 1 pass, 2 passes, maybe you're killing all those zombies without a doubt.
Or yeah, maybe so when you go up to the zombie horde, the car slows down and they're actually damaging the car to where by the time you make it through it, they're actually going to blow up the car.
Exactly. And like an improved amount of damage. So those zombie hordes do like a crap ton of damage to that car. So, your condition may go from 100 to 70 or 60 really, really fast, depending on how slow you're driving.
Yeah. So I think that that's something that they could really use. And these are new, so maybe they'll come up with these ideas later. But one thing they also added was level of detail for the vans, cabinets, and weapon shelves, which we haven't seen the weapon shelves yet, but it's something they put into the game has been added. So I guess they're better pictures, better images that are on those. They added fixed emote key bindings for new emotes. So there's going to be, and these are things that I think you're going to be able to get in these crates, and I don't know about the loot bags, but you're going to get different emotes that you can do. Because right now we have the set that are F2 through F12 or F11?
Mm-hmm. That's what it currently is.
Actually, F1, because F1's wave, I think. But F1 through F11, they have these different emotes. You'll be able to get new emotes in-game through the crate system, which who knows what they are. Maybe dancing, or who knows what they're going to add. It'll be like WoW all over again.
Yeah.
So they added new locations for weapon spawns. They are somewhat predictable right now, but they're adding more places where they will possibly be. And I don't know if that was maybe for specific weapons like the bows, but they didn't say what weapons exactly, but they are adding more spawn locations for those. They fixed the glow-in-the-dark map object, which I never saw.
I have no clue what that is.
And they did adjustments to firing animations to probably make them look more fluid. The adjustments to a few textures and collision objects. And then they prepared data for the Oceanic servers, which are the Australia servers.
Which are live
And I know
now.
that they have put up and made live those Australia servers. And as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I really hope that takes some of the Asian population that's playing on our servers right now. They come up to us and we can't understand what they say, or they just curse at us because they don't know what we're saying and that's all they know what to say. That maybe they will move over to there and have and perhaps they can have ones that are in that data center that they dedicate to Asia.
Yeah.
That would make more sense to me because Australia and them are very close. They're going to have a lot less lag than when they're playing here in the United States. Have one that they consider a Chinese server or whatever.
Here's the thing, though. I can't imagine, if they're connecting from China, that latency's got to. Their ping times have to be massive. How do we not have the upper hand on them in gunfights? It doesn't make any sense to me. The servers, I would assume they're U.S. They're either on the West Coast or in Chicago. And even if they're on the West Coast, Brian, you're good. If they're in Chicago, they're in the middle. How do we not have upper hands on these people playing from Asia and from China with their ping times? I mean, that's just how it works. I'm surprised that there's no.
Well,
advantage.
From what I've been told is that a majority, and I can't say all, but a high percentage of the population that are playing from there are using hacks. From people tell me that there's a very different mindset in the gamers there, in the clans there. They use a lot of cheats and they have no reservations about it. For us, we like to have a nice clean game, and we want to have a pure game that's not polluted by the hacks. Over there, it seems to be the just what you do. And so we're running into a lot of these guys, and then they're killing. One guy will kill 5 of us, instantly. To bam, 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 bam. There are a lot of them are using aimbots or whatever. Of course, I'm sure we run across ones that don't, but I'm sure that an aimbot or something really makes up for the lag time that they're experiencing because they can instantly kill people.
So Morik in chat is saying he works at a data center and says you cannot hack ping. We're not talking about hacking ping. We're just saying how do we not have the upper hand when people have 300 milliseconds ping time and I have 20? How do I not have an advantage on killing them? That's all we're saying. We're not saying anything else about hacking ping times. We're just saying how latency wise we should have the upper hand. If you're closer to the data, even for men, I mean, he notices it sometimes. He's not playing in the United States. He notices latency. But where is the upper hand? I should have that upper hand. I mean, their ping time is 300 milliseconds plus.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why there's no why I'm still every time losing in gunfights, even if they're not hacking. It's just like, well, what are you gonna do?
Well, that's where I guess you'll just have to keep playing BR.
Oh yeah,
Now,
I've tried BR, Brian. Did you not see my video 1v CCTV? I got killed by like 8 or 9 of the Chinese guys.
Carloads of Chinese guys piling out of a car.
Yeah. That's a good video. You should check that out on our YouTube channel. It's infectionpodcast.com/YouTube. That's a really good video as well. So the AU servers are up. The Australian servers are up. Don't know how I haven't even seen them in the server list yet. Don't know how they're responding and how that's working. But those servers are 100% up now. They appear to be stable. Haven't seen any other problems with that. 1 million copies of the game. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
You would expect the population. I mean, we've had it to where on evenings we're sitting there just wishing people would walk by or come by, or we'd go into Pleasant Valley and there'd just be nobody there.
Yeah,
1 million copies of the game should mean high pop, and I assume we're not running off all the players to where they're on the outskirts or only in Cranberry or Ranchito Taquito now. These players are around, but how can we run around Pleasant Valley for an hour and barely see 3 or 4 people?
Yeah, and it's a huge
with
problem.
1 million players.
And I think it's the hackers. I mean, that's what it generally comes down to. It's the hackers that are deterring these people from playing. Server wipes. Sometime between now and next week. Don't know when. It could be any day.
It could be tonight for knowing them. I mean, it could be any time. That's the thing is, there's no point in really guessing.
So just be prepared. Get ready to get your base building stuff ready. But the thing is, there's no base building stuff ready. When you wipe, you have nothing. Well, no, but okay. So I guess we need to decide right now, Brian. Let's do it.
But deciding where you're going to put your base when it comes back up.
So Brian, are we infection or infected? I think we need to go infection.
Now you have your straw poll.
I do have the straw poll, but I do see where I was talking to some people on TeamSpeak today, and there appears to be some confusion. We are the infection clan. That's kind of our name that we've assumed. Doesn't it seem a little weird to make our clan tag infected?
No, because it's more saying, "Hey, I'm infected."
I'm fine with infected. I heard from people today saying, if you're the infection clan and your clan tag is infected, isn't that confusing? And I kind of saw that a little bit. I'm still for infected. It won in the vote.
See, and that's the thing is, I am personally for infection, but the vote was pretty overwhelming for people going infected.
So I think we need to go with infected. Is that I think we need to slam down our gavels, Brian, and say
the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and overrule the people that voted for what you want, and that's where the vote went. So let's do it, and it still is. People will know when they see infected that it's us.
Yeah. So
now we had some ideas. So when the server wipe happens here this coming week, when you create your new character, if you consider yourself a part of our clan, create your character as, for me, I got to decide, do I want to do Infected Brian or do I want to do Infected Boise Computer? I might go with Infected Brian now that it's going to be more of a unique name. Mm-hmm. But you can be Infected Nick. I'll be Infected Brian. Infection Ferment is going to have to be Infected Ferment.
Infected Ferment. Here's the thing, guys. If you want to roll with us in the group, it's going to just be a whole lot easier if we all have the same name. So we'll have Infected Heisenberg. I'll have all of our names in there, but we're going to go with Infected. There's going to be another server wipe probably 3 or 4 weeks after this one. So if we figure out Infected doesn't work or we don't like it, we can change it. It's not permanent. And plus, there's going to be clan systems eventually too. So this is not set in stone. Ferment doesn't approve, but the people spoke, and that's what it was. It was an overwhelming majority of people wanted the infected. It was actually, I can pull up the results right here. It was 25-10 on the votes.
Yes.
So that's how we are going to do that. And we play on Walker Empire. We're going to continue on Walker Empire, and that's how that's going to work. So infected is going to be your new name. Yep.
So yeah, and then Dangling Wang in chat says individually you are infected, but together you are infection. So there you go. That can be our explanation.
Yeah. Now, Brian, I don't know if you can do this. Can you start and stop your video on Skype? Your video completely froze over here on my end. So
yes.
We're going to go with infected. The thing is with infected being the character length that it is, you're going to have to pick a name that fits with that as well. But that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with infected on Walker Empire. Our team speaks infectionpodcast.com, and I would hope the wipe is tonight, maybe, because it's getting a little stagnant.
Well, and okay, so this is where someone in chat's asking, do you think that they're going to be adding the new character model in the new build? And I'm assuming that could be part of what they're wanting to do with this wipe. I wouldn't be surprised if here in the next couple days they put out the character models, the new character models, and then do the wipe then, so everyone has to create their character and have to choose between a male and female at that time.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That would explain this wipe.
So I think that would be that would make a lot of sense. And so if that is something they're doing, because realistically, if they wait and they don't do this wipe, they don't do the character models, are they then going to expect everybody to wipe again, or expect everyone to delete their character and recreate it? That just becomes a pain. Like right now, we don't want to all delete our characters because of all the things that we've built.
The crafts, yeah, exactly.
All the things that we've like the buildings that we've crafted and the things that I hold the key to the doors for. When I go and delete my character, that becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's. I mean, we're all waiting with bated breath on the server wipe. They like Tuesdays after Infection Podcast. Like that's their thing. Like, let's do this as soon after the show as possible. They'll release it. So we'll tell you next week, after a week into the server wipe, what's going on. Let's talk about the H1Z1 Survivors series on YouTube. This is done by a man named Green Man Cartoons, and if you're not already subscribed to him, you better do so. This is really cool. I'm just going to play this in the background while Brian and I talk. This guy is doing full animation work. He's got 3 characters set up, and he's basically just mocking Battle Royale in this episode. This is the Battle Royale one, and I can play a little bit of the audio here.
Or a typical Battle Royale lobby.
Oh, great, you're here. Why exactly? I thought you hated the idea of novelty skins.
I do. It betrays my role-playing playstyle. But since it's a special Battle Royale weekend, killing all these punks will scratch the FPS itch I get every so often.
So there you go. That's it's just this big animation thing. There's like Cranberry for the first time, and one of the characters pops up with like 30 goggles on their eyes. It's just this funny.
It's kind of making fun of the little weird things that people do. Like this in the Battle Royale one, it just shows someone jumping in the background, people just trying to jump up onto each other.
Yeah.
Just all the weird things, everybody throwing their goggle or their
flares out.
Their flares and different objects, their flashlights and everything on the ground. But yeah, this guy, he has a series. He does it for other games as well. So this is one thing he does. And I expect to see a lot more of these, especially if he gets a lot of community support.
Yeah. Now his Twitter is twitter.com/Gavin_J, and his YouTube channel is Green Man Cartoons. Now we have an interesting question in chat. We haven't covered this in a few weeks, Brian. PS4. We haven't heard anything since the merge from SOE to Daybreak about the console version of this game. I'm wondering if this is something they're going to scrap. Is this can this game be ported to the console? There is way too many things in this game, I think, for them to port to a console. How are you going to easily go through your?
It's very difficult to not play
with a keyboard and mouse.
Not to play the keyboard and mouse. They're going to have to come up with a simplified UI.
Like, could you imagine trying to do inventory management with a control,
or just opening it up to drop the flashlight, to drop all these things? I mean, imagine how many different ways of moving your controller you're going to have to memorize just to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come up with some other way, and it would have to be for those a simplified UI of some sort, a quick drop, something to drop, maybe more places that you can put objects on your bar, like quick access objects.
Yeah.
Because they can't have it to where you're constantly having to go in your inventory, right click on an object to use a bandage.
No, that won't work on a controller.
No. And so you're dying and you have to go into your inventory and then try to get over there and then try to push some other button that you've memorized. They'll have to come up with, and this would carry over very well to the normal PC version, coming up with those quick slots so that you can press a key to bandage as long as you have bandages in that, or maybe a first aid kit in that slot.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no clue about to answer your question, I have no clue about the PS4 version. it makes no sense at all. I don't see how you could unless they totally change the game for the PS4 version. It's not going to happen. That's all I can see right now.
But and I do want to release them for PlayStation, for Xbox. This is something that I'm assuming that hopefully they'll do once the game is finished, so that it's a completed package, rather than them trying to constantly patch and make changes again for the PlayStation version. They're going to have to just come out with a very close, this is released from beta. Now here is our PlayStation version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's
it's going to be difficult constantly making changes.
Yeah. Is that it?
So,
do you have anything else you want to cover?
Yeah. So there's one other thing here.
Okay.
Schmedley had put out a picture of the character models where they're going to have no clothes on. Have the ability to have no clothes on. That's kind of a joke that was in one of those videos where you take off your pants and you magically have new pants. If you take off your shirt, magically you have another shirt. And so they have on the new model to where when you don't have a shirt and pants on, you're actually in underwear running around. So when someone goes and shreds their shirt to make a bow or something like that, they're actually going to be running around without a shirt on anymore. And this will be on the new character model. So you will have people that are running around pantless.
So we'll have to be the no pants clan. That if you have pants on, kill them. That's how we'll have to associate ourselves. But
yeah.
Now you assume with this, if they allow you to take the pants off or whatever, when are they going to add pant skins? Because they don't have those yet, and that would be a nice idea.
They do have skins for pants.
But that's in the mystery bag V2s, correct? Yeah. Okay, so most
no, they have them in the V1s. So there are the camo pants.
Okay.
So I have seen. I think it's a brown camo pants that you can skin.
Okay, well, that's news to me. I haven't seen that.
Now, one skin that I saw today was a vest that they had, and it doesn't look correct with backpacks at the moment because you have the vest on. Your backpack strap goes underneath some of it, and you kind of see it poking out at certain points. So that's one thing that they're going to have to fix as they come up with these trench coats, vests, all these different bigger objects, coats, because of the different temperatures that they're looking at implementing. They've got to get it to where the backpacks actually look correct on those objects. So I'm sure they're doing a lot of redesigning on the back end to do that. But right now, when you have some of these newer objects, which aren't a flat thing like the T-shirt or the shirts are right now, they're having to redo all. And maybe they'll fix it with this new character. Maybe some of these models that we're seeing are actually modeled for the new character. Mm-hmm. So that's why they look correct now.
Yeah. Yeah. But those are kind of like minuscule things that they hope they fix them, but I think there are more important things to do first. So, Brian, final thing to end here. What do we want to? When do you think the patch is going to be, or the server wipe? You have between now and next Tuesday. They said any time between now and next Tuesday.
I think probably Thursday.
Think Thursday?
I think Thursday will probably be when the wipe is, or a big patch will be on Thursday, and then they'll wipe over the weekend.
I'm gonna go Wednesday. I feel like they have a problem if they do it Do you mean, okay, we have to clarify this. Are they going to do it Wednesday night into Thursday? So like Thursday at 2 p.m., 2 a.m. or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 2 a.m. possibly a big patch.
Okay, well then I'd agree with that then. The Thursday at 2 a.m., I think that's a good thing. It gives them time for them, if there's a huge problem, that they can patch it Thursday and Friday if there's like a massive problem with the game, like crashes or whatever else. Hopefully they can fix that. So I think that's normally what they go for with that as well.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of hoping that with this new one, with the new character models, that you'll start seeing those more unique skins and people having that individual look. Someone posted a video of someone opening a crate in chat. They posted a video on YouTube of someone actually opening the crate, and it does kind of a wheel, like a casino wheel type of a feel as it goes through and picks what you want, which I think is a good way to do it. So you can see, it makes it feel random. Yeah,
because right now, like I said, when you enter Battle Royale, it's just like, or you open up your message, it's like, you receive this green shirt. Like, geez, really? Like, again?
Yeah.
So I'm showing this video right now for all of our audio listeners, and it shows you all the possible things you can get, and it's just a wheel with a white line in the middle, and it slows down, and this guy is going to be receiving a red flannel shirt. So there you go. That's a nice one there. Don't use that too quickly.
But I mean, and it's so there will be that chance you'll see it kind of ticking up towards the rare item. You're like, almost. It'll give people that feeling, I need to do another one. I got so close to the rare item that time, even though it has no difference.
Quickly, somebody just Giazo'd something in here that Schmedley tweeted. Smedley tweeted, people are using the squad command. We never intended it to be used just yet. We have a nice interface soon enough. So there you go. There's our first. Yes, Brian's finally going to get his GUI.
We keep saying, there's got to be a better way to do this. It'd be a simple thing just to put a little GUI on top of those commands.
Brian is a GUI guy, so he wants the GUI for squads.
Yep. So because then we'll have nice, easy management. We'll have people jumping group.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Aldridge at Boise Computer on Twitter. Anything else, Brian?
Okay, so after this, I'm going to be playing tonight quite a bit of not Battle Royale, but in-game and maybe some Battle Royale. One thing that we did not bring up that we have discussed internally is doing some clan events. So first of all, if you want to become a part of our clan, log in. When you create your account on Walker Empire, make sure that you create it as officially now Infected, and then your name that you want to use. Jump into our TeamSpeak and start playing with us. Hopefully we'll have a large crowd of people on tonight, and we can do some raiding of maybe the police station and things like that. But what we're wanting to do is having maybe a once a week activity where perhaps we'll pick a random server that we want to go, and we'll consider it a raid. And so we're going to have everybody that's on, 20 plus people, go on, and we'll pick a random server. Everyone will create a fresh character on that server, and we will go and see how we can find weapons, ammo, and then we'll go try to take over like the police station at Pleasant Valley, or take over Pleasant Valley itself. And just have that be everybody's fresh. Let's go and see what we can do, and just have that as kind of a fun activity. Also, people keep talking about having the Olympics, having a
H1Z1 Olympics,
an H1Z1 Olympics, which would be a much bigger task. But also having a player versus player. What we want to do is have in Twitch here, to where we pick two people from the clan, and it's going to be a fight between those two people. We will stream both of their perspectives inside of Twitch, dual screen, so that you can see from each side, but we'll give them a weapon and give them a location, and they have to hunt each other down and make it so that whoever kills the other person is the winner. I mean, in our clan, you really have everything you want anyways, so it's not like we can say, here's a reward, unless we come with some sort of like a crate key or something.
It's the fame and glory of being on the Infection podcast Twitch TV channel.
You are one of the Infection.
We'll have a Hall of Fame on our website. How about that? If you win our 1v1s, you'll have a little plaque on the website or something.
Yeah. So this is an idea that I think would be a lot of fun, and especially seeing from both perspectives, because we could even have it to where you hear both of their audios. Mm-hmm. We see both of their perspectives, and of course we'll be able to be in TeamSpeak, maybe giving a
we're gonna have like shoutcasters. We'll have people commentating over it. We're gonna do something cool. Have no fear. We will make it happen.
That's one idea I think that'll be really popular, and I haven't seen anyone else do.
So now we have to do it, Brian, because you put it out there in the public. So
I know. I've put it out.
Maybe we'll do it this. Maybe we'll do it this weekend. Then again, I don't know. We won't have as much loot.
We'll see with the wipe and everything.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on with the wipe. All right, there we go. Brian, how can people? You're going to be playing tonight. Quickly, how can people play with us?
All right. So first step, go to infectionpodcast.com, and if this is after tonight, if you're listening later in the week, do this anyways. Go to infectionpodcast.com. First of all, click the TeamSpeak link. Join us in TeamSpeak, and then click the Steam group. Join our Steam group. Whenever I see people that are playing in Steam in our group, And if I'm not friends with them, I add them as a friend. If I ask you if you want to come and play with us, if I see you're playing H1Z1 and I say, hey, do you want to come and join our group? Don't be afraid. It's not like I'm stalking you. If I see people that don't play with us that are playing H1Z1 regularly, I will ask you to go and join us and play with us, because we have an awesome group of people. Right now, we have probably about 10 people on there right now, 4 or 5 people in Battle Royale. Some people are away just because they're listening to our broadcast right now. But I'm hoping we'll have a nice big group of people tonight. Click TeamSpeak, then join our Steam group, join us in game, and you can come and cause some havoc with us.
There it is. Anything else, Brian? At Boise Computer on Twitter?
No, I think that's it. Just get in the game and make sure you join our group, because that will keep you playing.
Yep. Also, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter. We're at InfectionCast. We couldn't fit podcast on Twitter, so at InfectionCast on Twitter if you're interested in that. Post stuff throughout the week. Our YouTube channel, that's a big thing as well. It's infectionpodcast.com/YouTube. My name is Nick Craig. At Gamecast Live is my Twitter. Anything you need is on the website, infectionpodcast.com. Let's see. We hope this will wipe us soon, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.